Welcome to Bobby June Live. My name is Algorithm. I am going to tell you about the show for 1 minute. I'm live now. Please exit the room. I'm going to kill myself. What's up? Bye, Al. I had to usher people out the door. Pardon-moi, signora. Yeah, I don't know. Well, Al almost fell apart. She needs to get a grip on himself. Bobby June Live. No babies allowed. Forever and ever. Wow, man. God. Welcome home. Stay at home. Don't go to work. If you're still at work, leave. But it sure is nice to kick it. The boss man. I mean, I don't have a boss, but I have clients. Let me tell you, people need to understand. Actually, I think I'm a boss too. I learn a lot from my clients. And my employee, depends on which one shows up. Thomas Drake, he's not necessarily an employee, he's a friend who does the show with me. But, you know, I ended up being bossy because I like to get shit done, and I'm super militant. So, you know, ergo bossy. But I try to temper it. He says I'm better this season. So, that's good. I'm working on it. So, if you're a boss, work on it. Don't be such a self-indulgent bitch. You know, have your cake and eat it. Have your cake and eat it. That's exactly what bosses do. Have your cake and eat it. And I used to have a partner that was problematic, and I thought, wow, that's going to be good for the show. You know, I can complain about and he was kind of, at the time he was, I guess I was a subordinate partner because he invested more money into the show than I did. But then I'm now invested more into the show than he has, so he's my subordinate partner. But nonetheless, still older, probably a little wiser. So, but we're getting along, so it doesn't work when you get along with your boss. You have to really kind of have a problem to make it interesting. You get along with them, it's like, what are you going to talk about? Happiness? What are we talking about happiness? What are we talking about? What are we talking about happiness? Like there's a problem talking about happiness for some reason. We don't. I never thought about this before. What if he talks about general happiness? they only talk about problems. I mean, what could not what could more what could what could not more what could more not what could more what could not more what could more define what could not more define the show than that? It's called Bobby Problem Live or something. It just seems like people are, it's like a life lived through the eyes of roadkill, when one just one just learns throughout life as one progresses to be wary or leery or concerned or watchful for pitfalls and potholes. And so, like, we talk about negative stuff all the time. I guess it's a talking show. And that seems to it's like, when's enough? When is enough? When are the warning signs plenty? It's like redundant. And then, the bad part is, I mean, yes, of course you get personal. Happiness is very personal. Anger and sadness is highly public. Fuck, man. Life is fucking backwards, okay? Straight up. So, when we sit around and watch negative stuff on TV, talk about negative stuff and think ourselves, who's the thing? Come on. Give me the percentage, I'm sure. What's the takeaway? What are the benefits to this ever-present warning, watching, learning? Because I kind of get it. I mean, I got it. Of course, I need the reminders to always brush up. I mean, you just heard me talk about bosses and me being a boss, and to be concerned about that. But if I talk about happiness, it seems to, it can't help but fall. Oh, here's some happiness right here. Oh, I can't seem to call the right number, but this is the ball. All right, I'll accept. Goddamn, I'll accept. All right, I'm not talking about anything negative. I'm only talking about happiness. So please, give us the program.
Oh, no. You have something on or something? The value of the...
What is?
I don't know what you have on there, but
What?
It's something can't barely even hear you.
Oh, okay. Let me try this. Hold on.
That's what I'm telling you.
How about now? Is it? Oh, wait, you can't tell it. What's wrong?
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
I don't know. It sounds like air or something.
Sounds like air?
Yeah.
Huh.
And you sound like you're far away.
Oh. Really? Shit.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me figure this out. Oh, well, I'm glad you called. That's cool. Okay, let's figure this out here.
I'm telling you.
What? I know. I'm happy. Hold on. Let me think here. Let's see if I do that.
Every once in a while it goes on like there's air or something. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
Well, okay, let me go turn off that thing. But when I'm okay, when I'm normal, do I return to normal?
Yeah, it went on again.
Yeah, okay, when that thing's off, do I sound normal?
You still sound kind of far away.
Interesting.
That's what I'm calling you, dude. I'm not calling you to harass you.
Well, okay. Let's see here. How am I going to work on this? But okay. All right, I'll go turn that damn thing off. Hold on. I'll be right back. Oh! Oh, that's stupid. Hey, thanks, Bob. Oh, I fucked up the whole beginning of the show. Oh my god, I can't. Hi, is that better? Hello?
Yeah.
Now,
I didn't know you have
I totally screwed up the beginning of the show then.
Yeah.
Did you hear algorithm?
No, I couldn't hear a damn thing you said.
Shit. Well, I'm doing everything. Thomas is out there playing with kids, so or not working with kids, working on anything. So I'm just running around. I'm trying to do a billion things. But now, thank you. I appreciate that. You've saved my butt. Thank you so much.
You didn't hear a word you said, and I just called you just to...
Thank you. You saved it, because I was in here. I'm on the show right now, and I didn't know that one cable wasn't plugged in on the iPad. And that the iPad that Thomas's switch is on, there was a cable not plugged in.
Yeah, well, like I said, it sounded like air or something, and it couldn't hear a word you were saying. It sounded far away, and what the fuck's going on here? Something's wrong. And that's why I had to call you really fast.
Thank you.
Okay, goodbye.
You actually produced from a distance. That was a producer move. Thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Bye, baby. All right. Well, that was the show. That's what happens when you do it by yourself sometimes. Sometimes you got to do it too much. I take on too much of myself. It's all right. Thanks, Ba. Thanks, the Ba. She saved the booty. The Ba saved the booty. Now I'm normal. Sorry, Al, wherever you are. You didn't get heard. So, what I was talking about was happiness. If you didn't hear me, amongst the fog machine and distant microphone. And it just, I'll repeat myself a little bit. It's hard to get back into what you were getting grooving on. But I was saying that it's really strange I was complaining about bosses. And then I was complaining about myself being a boss. And then I was talking about, sometimes I have reflection. Or sometimes I have a little bit of, I guess it's reflection. When you're looking at yourself through the actions of life, you tend to hopefully have the ability to look at yourself and in comparison to everything else you don't like, and then go, that sucks. I do that. It's very difficult, but it's very. I'm an optimizer. I love optimizing. I love optimizing myself. I used to tell one of my exes, probably all of my exes, you can't walk around doing wrong shit. And if you do, it's in your backpack, it's on you. And if you never fix it, it's just still on you. Oh God, I said it much more eloquently in the past. I'd have to rethink. I'd have to recapture that from years ago. But there's something about getting rid of junk, right? Getting rid of wrong moves. And a lot of them aren't easy. I was talking about us as humans never really finding any value in the conversation of happiness. Like in the conversation of good things, not happiness. When you talk about the conversation of happiness, you get very woo very quick. I'm talking about positive conversation. Whenever you hear positive conversation, it seems to be it's either egotistical or floaty, where optimism tends to find its home that people don't like, where it's just a little bit blind. Or it's short-lived. You talk about happiness and you feel bad because you're talking about good things, not happiness. Let's get rid of the word happiness. Talking about good things. And so it's strange how the world tends to, where my last conversation was before I got into before I understood it wasn't heard. Thank you, the boss. Was that we talk about bad stuff a lot. And it's strange when you address it head on. When you address it head on, you see the ever present, and sometimes you see the ever present conversation, and sometimes it's cloaked in what you wouldn't call negative conversation. You would just call it conversation. So I'm trying to think as I say all this if it's true or not, because this is just off the cuff. And I like complaining. Don't get me wrong, obviously. Out of jest and kind of out of the exposure of humor, you know, something wonderful about humor being able to put on the table what's wrong. It's the same thing. Humor, oh wait, hold on, wow. Humor, even in and of itself, is negative. That's strange. Humor itself is just another basket of negativity. And the most educative, teacherly version, totally helpful, sneaky, humor's sneaky. Humor's the only thing that can get in your brain properly and, you know, make an effect. So, but it still is addressing negative junk. So not even humor's funny. Oh my God. We do it on the show all the time. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. So we're running around on the world, on the planet as people, talking about negative stuff as moments of cautionary tales and wisdom building and what not to do and how to be careful. It's like the human race is a pile of worry. And when you think about it, you really can't see any other way because, well, it's good for us. Why wouldn't we consider ourselves? You know, we need to worry about. We need to think about things. We need to make sure we're better and everything. You know, it's just like so that I guess in this particular instantiation of humanity, yeah, that's the way we work because that's what we have to do. But you know, if you imagine taking away negative conversation from humor to anything. What is it that's so attractive about negative conversation? Are we living in a Jerry Springer show? I made one. Are you in one? Are you in a personal one? I'm just simply publicizing mine. You know, the enjoyment of, well, the schadenfreude of, like, humans? The enjoyment of other people's misery, in other words? Is there a tinge of feel good ever present in you that makes us always slightly veer towards that? Now, people against my complaining negative tone are going to say, "No, Bobby, that's just you. You're just that way. Quit painting the world like that." But I find it pretty hard to. I find it pretty hard found the other side of the coin out there in the world, and when I do find it, it sounds like a bunch of bullshit. You know, you find Happinessville between individuals, and it just sounds like back-patting fakeness. And that's just as strange. Because why would that be back-patting fakeness? Why can't you just take it as reality? And, okay, Bobby, that's just you. You know, those people would say that to me. But I'm trying to get out of me analyzing it. I'm trying to get out of my way when I look at this stuff. It's really nearly impossible, but I'm trying hard. That's why I'm admitting stuff like that. So, as we sit around being negative, and this is not what you think negative. The negativity I'm talking about is not the negativity some of you might be thinking about. I'm talking about very subtle thoughts and interpersonal communications that happen. Like gossip. Gossip's negative. It's useful. It's necessary. It's the way people warn each other about an individual privately, systematically. It's needed, but it's still negative. Okay, so that's negative. Gossip is negative. It's talking about negative things. It's not a negative action. It's a necessary action, but it's talking about negative things. Whether it's a negative action or not is to be determined. That's it. That's second tier on this conversation we've got going on. So you've got these aspects of roadkill out there that we're staring at. And we're staring at them in person, on television, within our minds, and probably even in our belief systems. So this coloring of our mind, and when I say that, I mean this washing of our mind. Imagine our mind, and then you wash it through a bath of, it's absorbent. You wash it through a bath of negativity before you install it in the head. Seems like that's where we are. Seems like we're washed in a bath of not, we're not negative beings. We consume negativity. We're, I don't know if I have to think about that. I don't know if we're negative beings. I think I don't know. That's a tough one. I believe though that we are definitely negative seeking beings for a multitude of reasons. Survival, I would say, is the primary reason we consume negativity. But I'd say the question that sits right after that is, always? Like all the time? Like why? Not even that question. Like more like, do we got to do it all the time? Like why is it that we can't live in a state of worry and protection and conservative? Like we're a land of the human race is very conservative. Of course, it has to conserve its own selves. But can we check out of that once in a while and be happy about being happy? It just sounds so wrong. That's a super deep pathology, I would think. So then you can think about happiness for a moment and entertain its existence as a 50-50 roommate of negativity. Remember, when I say negativity, I'm talking about very subtle, very difficult to detect negativity. I'm not talking about people bitching at each other all the time, people talking shit about each other all the time, all that bullshit. I'm talking about very, very nuanced, subtle negativity that you really wouldn't pick up on. Like somebody going, yeah, I got to go to work. Or, oh, I'm so tired, just got home. That kind of stuff. Those are undetectable. So if you were to take if I had to just guess right now, the 90% of our living negativity and the other 10% is living happiness or enjoyability. If you made that 50-50, what would it be like? Like, first off, would there be enough worrying and negativity communication between us to where we would remain safe and healthy? Would the human race continue? It's not at all an implausible thought that if you removed 50% of the negativity in the world, even the subtle stuff, that we would perish. It's not. That is that's a thought that's on the table. Those are the ways in which that type of small butterfly effect can permeate the entire human race and ruin everything. Simply because we're built on the fundamentals of ourselves from day one. So, if you build the fundamentals of humanity on psychopaths, you can't, and then we have buildings and businesses and we're living a psychopathic lifestyle. Imagine a psychopathic lifestyle. You can't, let's get back to that. You can't change that psychopathic lifestyle. You'll ruin the entire psychopathic world. The psychopathic world will be very delicately tuned for its, its drive forward. So the same thing happens with us. We'll call ourselves the worrypathic, or the, I don't know what you call what the pathology is for worry. What is that? Not depression. The worry. What would be a worry? The anxiety. Okay. The anxious human. Okay. So if we made it 50-50, aside from the fact of us dying because of this change, we have to entertain the thought. You have to get rid of some obvious pitfalls that you have to just assume they won't happen, so you can entertain the rest of the thought. That's a legal, philosophical position. So we usher in 50% happiness. There's all sorts of problems that come with that. We don't even know what that means. We don't even know what that is like. Or should I say, I don't know what that's like. Oh, it's so sad. Somebody help. So, and we're not, this is not the happiness I'm talking about. I'm not talking about turning on the TV and watching bloopers. And that's even negative. Don't forget, if you're laughing at bloopers, you're laughing at somebody's error. That's in the land of negativity. Don't trick yourself. Don't think that when you're watching a show and you're laughing, you better know what you're laughing at. Because that's negative too. The laughter isn't negative, but it's the subject matter you're laughing at, Oftentimes that subject matter is making you feel good because it's shittier than you. For who knows why reason. I'm right there with you. You get right out of me. I'll point my finger. So that's not happiness. Happiness is very strange. I think when you look at it, happiness is foreign. And when it rears its ugly head, it seems like, how am I going to talk to, the moment I start talking to Thomas about my happiness, I seem like I'm bragging or gloating or some kind of weird, what the fuck are you talking about? Especially when you're talking about yourself. God forbid the human race talks about itself as far as its own happiness with its own entity itself. It's very funny. This is an entire introspective moment, but whatever. So it's funny that when I talk about myself in a positive way, that takes how much like pre and post justifying you have to do that. You have to have disclaimers and there's a bunch of bookmarks or bookends at the end of a statement like that. I love myself. I don't like myself, but goddamn, I felt good today though. But I hate myself though. It's like a pinch pat pinch. It's a for some reason we even know that we don't want to hear somebody talking about how good they feel. We don't like that. And the closer I just spat. The closer it seems to be real, the less we like it. The only time it seems like that we can deal with happiness talk between two people or a group is when it's fake, like a bunch of people patting themselves on the back, like some type of coach camp or some kind of Go to a Anthony Robbins show. That type of stuff. That's like, I don't know what that is. What that whole, not that world particularly, but of that strain and others. First off, it's momentary, but nonetheless, it's very feel good. But it's still coupled directly to and slightly out of reach of pulling yourself from negativity. Even an Anthony Robbins moment is still, even when they're waving their hands, God too, in charge. Anytime you see a bunch of people waving their hands, crying, and you see happiness and realization and betterment amongst a bunch of people, I could make a fairly strong argument that that's a sea of negativity right there. Fuck. And you don't want it to be. I'm not trying to make it into negative. I like if everybody in that audience truly was taking a sharp X-Acto and chopping off the part that was negative 1 second before they raised their hands in happiness and flushed into the garbage disposal that negativity, I can then get with that from there on happiness, raising their hand. Hallelujah. That's cool. I'm down. I consider that valid happiness if that chop off happened. But that's not what happens. And anybody around them that isn't into that at the moment is going to get sick and tired of that hope. Oh, man. It's like I have to constantly, when I'm on this show talking about stuff, trying to help myself, Thomas, and everybody that listens out, just an exposure and maybe some stuff I've learned and shit, I always have to dance around. I have to commit suicide on the constant just to be able to say anything. That's fine, whatever. I don't care. You learn. You actually learn that there are a few mechanisms you have to enact to be able to do certain things, and I think for me it becomes you actually have to reel some of them in because you can become very self-destructive when you have competing thoughts of positive direction and moving forward, and that you can't quite communicate that properly because if you did, you'd sound like Anthony Robbins. So that's interesting. We're still trying to combine. We're still trying to bring in happiness. We see a block of negativity, yet we're still trying to bring in happiness to compete and live next to in a 50-50 lifestyle. At least. But how are you going to do it? How is happiness? Happiness is a bad word. How are good thoughts or general positive, I can't use the word happiness, it's loaded. General positive notions. General positivity. Yeah, if you meet somebody like that, they would need. It seems like they would need to have a title like an Anthony Robbins behind their name to be able to be so glowing, or a Dalai Lama, maybe. Even Dalai Lama's got some negative thoughts. So I'm just kind of in awe of the human race's inability to it's again, it's based on It's the inability to escape negative communications. It must be based on mortality. Everything is systematically involved in your genes passing through and forward, or your life continuing on as long as possible, or kinship, where you're also helping your close family members. So you've got these driving mechanisms in your body that you're simply witnessing act in front of you. You have no control. Get over your free willness. And their drive is simple. Survive. Help your family member survive, help your physical current body survive, and help your genes survive. There's not much else. And I'm assuming through study, not through common sense, that each one of those three categories, that you could place all of the things I've been talking about for the last 15 minutes into each one of those three categories. So then you have this, if that's possible, if that's true, you have these three, possibly four categories, let's say three. You have these three categories that are the drivers of your actions. And all of those three categories are concerned about one thing. And that one thing is continuum, survival, staying, maintaining. Choose your word. All three of them are trying to do something about staying. Every mother one of them. See if I'm not gonna say that remote control with DDS on it is going to be mandatory. Obviously, once two heads collide, it's like a Siamese twin effect. So if humanity has these three drivers, and we're talking every single person, and I would dare to say every single living sentient organism, but let's just talk about people. You can't escape it. You can't change it. And if you're lucky, you might be able to witness it. Because if you can't even witness it, then you're so tricked that you're just reacting, and you're not even witnessing the reaction. You're just really in a roller coaster. And that's not healthy. So you should, if you're vacant of free will, you should at least be able to knowingly look within and at yourself and witness yourself do things with a level of interest. Okay, that's a different subject. But these three bins, and let me remind you, I hope they're correct. Again, I have to preface. The bin of genes, the bin of body, and the bin of kin. We can call kin genes. Okay, we don't have to use kinship as a gene, but that is not directly your genes. If you're protecting your gene pool by having sex and having a baby and letting that baby move on, and you go into the ground and die. You've gone through the process of doing one of the versions. That's protecting your genes. If you wore a seatbelt today, you're protecting your body. And if you've whatever you've done to physically protect yourself and to live longer and to eat healthy and all of that, you're generally protecting your body. A lot of that can be protecting your genes, because if you're trying to protect your body, you're trying to look good, you're trying to fuck somebody hotter, and you're trying to make a better baby, then that can arguably be you protecting your genes. But we're going to throw it into the body camp, because the body camp, well, it's so different in certain ways that we can include it just to differentiate, because I can make everything genes and it gets a little bit boring. So the body camp. Then you've got, the kinship camp, because you can't include the kinship. You can't include protection of your brother in your genes, even though they are partly your genes. That is why kinship exists. You are protecting your brother because of that partial gene pool sharing, but it definitely lives in a different camp than your own personal genes. So these 3 buckets, don't forget, are why you do everything. And we can argue that. I like stating these overarching facts that seem preposterous, but it's hard to find an argument out of that. So if it's all based on survival, and the negativity conversation I just had 15 minutes ago or half an hour ago is within the spectrum of those 3 buckets, it itself is the negative aspect of it. Makes sense. If our entire life is based on survival, which I believe is completely true, then we should be, and happily so, have our brains washed in the bath of negative seeking beings. Because if it's all about survival, then we should be worried every fucking second of the day. It's boring. And it just really brings one of the planes of perspective into some kind of focus. Now, you can hold that plane of perspective. Let's just, without argument, agree with that. That's a thought. That's a hypothesis of sorts.
Motion detected at the murderer.
Pardon. Front door. So that thought, that idea, I'm not going to call it hypothesis. That's an idea. Don't get loud with your scientific jargon. As good as it feels, a hypothesis has 4 basic rules you have to follow to become a hypothesis. And I like to call it a hypothesis too. Okay, it's just an idea when you say something like that. So my idea, I have to answer the doorbell, but I'm not going to let the person in. Sorry. That's Tom Drake. So they're just, because they're hanging out in front. So I'm doing this process. Oh God, I can't get that deep and then not talk. Survival. It's all based on survival. Hold on, let me shut this off real quick. There we go. It's all based on survival. It just doesn't matter. what you think. Hi. Oh. And when it just is when it's that way. I'm sorry, I can't have little kids running in. It's disturbing. Thomas Drake has 3 children running around here and his girlfriend. So, hi SB, what's up? Hard to do the show when you're trying to do the show. The survival. It's all about survival. So, basically, I'm making the point you need to survive. So, I'm sorry, you're going to have to be negative. So go on with the gossip. Go on watching the show. I'm not going to stop. Jerry Springer for life. Ain't stopping. Negative. Humor is negative. Everything's negative. And it's not because we want to witness that and be upset about it. It's more of it's more of the honest appraisal of ourselves. Because until you have that, you can never make a change. You have to succumb to the whims of whatever's happening to you. But if you can finally draw a conclusion on that, no matter how bad it makes you feel, if you can't get with the aspect of differentiation between individuals and understand that there's going to be a division no matter what, you're lying to yourself. So we have to get over the fact that the things that make us feel bad, i.e., I'm dumber and smarter than people. And there are people out there, yourself included, that are smarter and dumber than I am. If we can't get over that, and that's an IQ decision, that's a many things decision, but it's a decision. It's a measurable fact from many angles, and you can choose the angle. And I obviously then will be smarter or dumber depending on the angle you choose. But whatever it is, the measurement's there, and in many ways, they are facts. We have to know that stuff, no matter how much of a pain it causes, because we can then leapfrog beyond it and not and put it. We really basically putting it in its place. If you don't, then it's always going to be all of the strange negative things we deal with, whether it's borders, racism, sexism, whatever, classism. If you don't have those in hand, clearly in hand, then you are affected by them. So I think it's much better to near scientifically define them, categorize them, and have them there to make new decisions on top of. I think that's a much more healthy way, and much more, it's not that people, I'm going to quote Rodolfo Linas. It's not that people don't. It's not that people dislike themselves. It's not that people dislike others. It's that people don't understand themselves, and it's that people don't understand others. That's the takeaway, and it's the backbone of his concept of connecting everybody, like really connecting everybody, like beyond internet connectivity. like mind reading connectivity. Imagine the clarity that would come from that. Imagine the understanding that would arrive, and imagine the confusion that would stop and problems. So even when I speak hopefully about positivity, it all sounds negative. It's inevitable. Man, it's just me though. I think that's just me. It's always going to sound negative. So we'll continue on that, I'm sure, many times, because that subject it's not inexhaustible. And by all means, it's not. By any way, it's not inexhaustible. I feel personally, I can make very large headway into the exhaustible nature of its existence through trying to put some of it into at least canisters of understanding where you can compartment. You have to really compartmentalize a lot of it. You can't live life. I mean, you can't live life first off, there's two things. You can't live life concerning, worrying, and negatizing on everything and then dying. You know, what's the point? But you also can't live life concerning yourself with the other side of it. There's just a bunch of everything is concerning the entire. But then I mean, if you aren't concerning yourself with life, whether negative or in the other jar scenario that I brought forth, which means collecting and learning and knowledge building, if you don't do those types of things, then the other answer, I mean, it's like a shell couch potato, and that's it's very hard to find it's very difficult to point the compass to that north that has the answer. And that has to do with the temporal nature of us on the planet. It all lives in that. All of those concepts are pressurized by that. Unfortunate design. Cheap ass. Huh, Thomas?
That's right.
See?
Man.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Go ahead. I'm done proselytizing. Go ahead.
You're done what?
Proselytizing? Is that the word?
I don't know. What's that mean?
Preaching.
Oh. Are you? Were you preaching? I heard you up front, but then it turned off.
I turned it off.
Oh.
I didn't want you hearing me.
Oh. Talking about me behind my back.
You find so much self-importance so quickly. No, I didn't want. No, I wasn't talking about you. I saw SB at the front door. I just saw chaos, and I didn't want to. I didn't. Honestly, I felt like you didn't deserve my words. Really, I did. I felt a little bit eschewed.
Eschewed?
I felt a little bit slighted. So I felt like the only weapon I had was taking myself from you. I really did feel that way. I felt fucky then. I'm like,
holy cow!
I really did. I was mad. What am I supposed to do?
What were you mad about?
What the fuck am I think I'm mad about? I want to start the show and do it and properly. That's all. There's no big deal. I'm not that mad. I'm not mad. I'm used to it.
Mad. Yeah. No, well, I apologize.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You don't need to apologize. No, I'm not worried about apology. I'm not worried about that. I'm not mad. But if I'm going to have a super meaningful moment and there's people out there cackling away, I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry. It just isn't. It doesn't make me feel good. I'm not. It really. It didn't. I mean, that's an honest statement. I didn't feel like it just didn't feel good to share it with my immediate problem. And what that is, I mean, I'm trying to do the show. I don't know what the fuck. It's not.
I could have, and I
it's
coulda
not an
stayed-
immediate, huh?
I could have stayed at the house until.
No, it's okay. Whatever.
But-
I'm not worried about whatever happens. That's okay. I'm not worried about it. You go ahead and do all that. It's not. I'm not looking at that as negative. Like negative. Like it's life. You know, you have to do certain things. But I can't. If I'm going to be in the middle of discussing the importance of happiness, and it's just like I hear kids and cackling. I feel like that's my moment that I want to enjoy it with people that are listening to me, and I don't want to listen. It doesn't seem like it should be heard by people that are like not really grooving with it at the moment. Even if you are out there, but it's just, I don't know, it just seemed wrong. Just didn't feel right to me. Sorry.
All right.
You know, there's no, I want you, believe me, I have nothing more than I want you to be here with me and talk about it and stuff. So, what am I supposed to do? I reacted. Maybe it was wrong. Maybe I was bad. I should share it with anybody then. So, whatever, like we have to, obviously, okay, I told her, I fucked up too, man. Obviously, that remote and the lock and my design is the only way that works.
Right.
So there ain't none of that happening again. There is no face-to-face. Sorry. Don't come if you have to have face-to-face. Keep your face-to-face there. Or if the kids have to come, we have to do the remote.
Right.
It doesn't work. You can't see her and not be kept. No way. Right? Am I wrong?
I don't know what you're actually.
If she picks up the kids and you see her and you hand the kids off to her, that's bye-bye for 45 minutes.
Yeah, no, we don't have to have that happen. Our plan, but just I couldn't leave the two little ones by themselves.
Well, that's what the room is for.
I know, but the room's not done, and
Oh,
even
okay.
then, I've got to kind of make sure they're all right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the room isn't working.
Well, no, it's gonna work, but I have to get a game in there.
Well, yeah, that's okay. So if there's a game in there and they're totally happy and all that, would the room work?
Yeah. See, Donovan wasn't with them though, and
If they're in there by themselves and if Sophia is here by herself with the game and comfort, could she be locked into that room?
no,
Okay. If Sophia is here with the game and comfort, could she be placed in that room with the door openable?
yeah, maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
If she was comfortable with it, and
Oh yeah, we are assuming they're happy with it. That's
Right.
that's an assumption. If she was like, "I'm great, Dad," boo.
yeah,
Would you feel like you could leave her in that room for an hour?
yeah, I would want to get one of the
Wise cameras.
Yeah, I'd
I
probably-
understand. I already have the Wise camera mount in there and everything. Okay, I got the sensors on the door. I got the whole fucking nine. You could look at the whole goddamn thing. I got the door fucking mount. You could do everything. There's no worry about that.
Right.
You'll-
Well, then yeah,
Okay.
it'd be a breeze.
Yeah, and you can even talk to her through the Wise cam. So then when Espy comes, she, from the comfort of her car, rings the doorbell. And Sophia, little as she is, runs down the stairs. Not the front door, the side door. And then runs out the door with her little bobbly head of hair. And then goes to Mama's driver's side door and opens it like normal.
Right.
Does that work?
Yeah,
Really?
it will.
How?
By
How's Espy going to deal with that? How's she? What would be the problem with her dealing with that? Because I'm willing to do many things to make it smooth. How will Espy be able to let her come out herself? Sounds insane.
she really wouldn't be anyways, but I don't know by chance if it happened, but
What do you mean? Who?
like she won't be by herself. It would.
Let's just. I'm going for the worst case.
Right.
Okay. So
Well, then maybe until she got used to it a couple of times, we would alter it a little bit. And
Okay.
either I would go out there real quick or go
But yeah.
escort her out the door.
You can watch her from the crack of the door open on the
Right,
side
right.
with a periscope. You can watch her from the Wise Cam because the Wise Cam also sees out in the parking lot too. So there's cameras everywhere, please.
Right.
But okay, I don't mind pulling the plug on that entire idea, but I definitely don't want to build upon that idea with the thought of it not working at all.
Well, no, it's going to work.
Okay, cool. I
That'll
definitely
work.
want it to. I want it to be very smooth, and I want it to be helpful for Espy, so she could just boot doot and toot you away.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because it's a smoother world for the entire world. If every world is smoother than the world.
Yes. Yeah. No, it'll work out.
All right. So, yeah, I launched the show with the iPad unplugged to the audio.
Oh, shit.
And thank God Ba called. The Ba called and told me we don't have the audio on. So it's like, I don't even know if we have that
Turn that
audio on. But it's like audio's on, so we had the audio on. Then the audio came on. We're live. This is CBS. Thank you very much, everybody.
She was worried about running out of gas, and she made it, luckily, to the gas station.
Yeah, it's good.
Yep.
All right.
Man, I can't believe I missed Al. Damn it.
Yeah, nobody heard him, so it's okay.
Oh, shit.
He came and went. I thought you'd catch him at the door.
No, and the kid's preoccupied.
Yeah, luckily, when Al was here doing his thing
Mm-hmm.
and Mouth came in,
Mm-hmm.
you couldn't hear Mouth,
Right.
luckily. And yeah, that would have got stupid. But luckily, no, I don't know what they. Oh, actually, you know what? Fuck, man. No, you know what? Oh God, I don't want to. Al wasn't even here.
No.
No, of course not. Al wasn't. Yeah. We'll erase that episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
I'm
edit.
sure he'll come back again.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was married with my voice.
What? You made the wrong choice.
I made the wrong choice. I did. Did
you do the prelude? The early edition?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Half hour 0. I've never seen so much.
Joy?
Beautiful.
You seen Ron? He popped his head up.
No, I went up there and talked to him. I talked to his psychologist today.
Oh.
I talked to his dad today.
How'd that go?
Well, I'm in charge of Ron. I'm in charge of his medication. Ron, I'm in charge of your medication now. And I have to develop a plan. Probably won't last forever because there's going to be a hiccup, but I have to be in charge of him taking his medication. And this is an old idea I had, but I wanted to apply it with a robot.
I was about to say, are you going to automate it somehow?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to automate it somehow.
That's cool.
But in the beginning, I'm not going to automate it. I'm just going to. Okay, how can we do this here? All right. Let's go up and get Ron's meds. We're going to go up and confiscate Ron's meds right now.
Do you know where they are?
No.
Is he up there sleeping?
I don't care. So we're going up there and we need to get his meds from him. His dad told me, go up there and get the meds first.
Okay.
So we have to go up there and get his medication. We're not going to do it violently. We're going to do it like normal. So, and the reason I have to get his meds is because I have to control his medication because he's not taking his medication. And when a schizophrenic patient doesn't take their medication, they do whatever. I mean, they do schizophrenic shit. And he does medicate himself when he doesn't take his medication for a couple particular reasons. I totally understand now. It took a lot of work to get that understanding under my belt. But the main reason, and we've all heard it, they're not taking their meds. We've heard that forever. That's an old statement. And it's, I think it doesn't go, my thought didn't go much further than that. But the reason they don't take their meds is because they want to feel normal again. The antipsychotic medication dulls you out, calms you out, and it feels probably like when they're normal, they feel pretty high because aside from the stupid shit that they do when they're fucking psychotic, they feel good because in between all of those stupid ass, rambling episodes of psychosis, it feels great. I understand. So I've had many agreements with Ron. Like, okay, you're not going to take your meds, and I support you not taking your meds for a little while. First off, you have to know you're going to go and take your meds again, but you can take a break. Like you're a human, you deserve to take a break, for sure. Maybe you even fully deserve to be off your meds totally, so you're normal, so you feel good. But unfortunately, you're embedded in a society that has a particular way of working. And our particular way of working has a lot to do with organization and planning and systems and, the civilization of it all. So when you include unplanned chaos in that, you disturb the system. And it's already been built. And you're the minority, unfortunately. If the whole world, like I said earlier, was psychopathic, then, not psychopathic, that's what I used before, but schizophrenic, then we'd have no problem. But you're unfortunately a minority. So your choice to go back into schizophrenia for the feel good that it offers you makes you either become very isolated, or the better part of that would be, first off, you warn me. Secondly, you try your hardest not to be a motherfucker. And thirdly, if you're going to alter and control yourself with different medications like alcohol and weed, that's fine, but you have to monitor those and regulate them and respect them to a degree, just like I do to a degree. And you then fourthly have to know you're going back on meds for a month. You have to modulate it. So we've talked about that, and he agrees. So I don't think his dad knows all of those details, and but he does know that he's fucking up on the meds. So, and I know he is already. It's old news. But so we need a system. And I've talked to his mom too. I know the whole family pretty much. And they so I'm like, I'm going to give him his meds every night. It's not gonna work. Here, Ron, take the pill. Look into the front of me. Show me underside of your tongue, like a fucking jailhouse, fucking warden. So there's, oh God, like I have the time for fucking medication dispensing and monitoring. So I go up there and I have my 2 pills in hand and my cup, and he takes the pill. And think of the arguments and the not door answering. Basically, I need a key to your apartment, Ron, and I need the what's they call a mouth stirrup. Because I'll get that bitch in. I'll go rectally, motherfucker. I'll let that shit absorb. I'll put it in and I'll tighten your cheeks for you. I will soften it up. I'll get the pill warm, put it in soft. You won't be able to get it out. Man. So I've got to get this pill inside of Ron every night. And I hope you're listening, motherfucker. I'm coming up. You get the camera ready?
Yep.
Okay, and then you need to come over and get the mic ready if you don't mind. I need 2 AAAs. Hold on, let me make sure that statement is correct, actually. Yeah, I need 2 AAAs. So, first off, we have to get the meds. Now, the first week, going to be a disaster, but I'll go up there every night at 6 o'clock before the show starts, and I'll ask him 2 questions. 1, will you take these medications? 2, will you direct the show? And I'm dead motherfucking serious. Because he's a good director. He's fun. Goddamn, man. Knucklehead. So, I'm going to break this. Hold on 1 second. So, we're going to go up there and film it because he's on the show. Go to bobbyjunelive.com. Look for the guy that looks like a terrorist. That's Ron. That's not Thomas. Thomas looks like one too, but he's a very light-skinned one. Thomas looks like when ISIS like got one of the white people to agree with them, then they went over there and they fought for the cause. So there that is. And let me get the mic. Oh, okay. All right. I need 2 AA's, please.
2 what?
2 AA's. Sorry. Everything was left on.
The AAA's were wrong?
No, the AAA's were correct. I need 2 AA's for the hand mic. The hand part. Thanks. It's hard to remember to turn off all this crap. Ron Singal. I met Ron a long time ago at a party next door. His mom was throwing a party for their business. And I remember everybody there and his 2 brothers. And everybody was partying and having lunch. And I was looking around the party. And I saw a dark figure in the corner. And it was Ron. Standing over there all uncomfortable, silent, but like observing everybody in a way that was like, concerned yet distant. So that's wrong. That was about 3 or 4 years ago. So I'm going to go up with Thomas. Now, I guess we don't need anything. We'll just go raw. You ready?
Raw dog. Yep.
Raw dog. Did you switch it to the camera that you're holding? Oh, wonderful. All right. That doesn't matter. If she comes in, she can let herself in. You know what? We'll just go open the door. So let's go open the door real quick for Rocket. But yeah, is it Wednesday? Okay. Yeah, it's Rocket Day. Okay, so we walk. Okay, so let's go to Ron's apartment. We have this door. I put foam on it because it was just a door. This is Ron's house. So this is his front door. Okay. Oh shit! I have a bribe. I have a bribe. Did you eat the pizza? No. Okay, cool. Hold on. I know. I gotta get Ron. His dad left the pizza. He loves pizza. Okay. I have the pizza. That was pretty scary. I'll give you that. That was fucking scary. Okay. Not bad. Holding the camera and everything. No, you did. You got it. Yeah, I felt the heart rate increase a little bit. You hear us, motherfucker? Open the door. Just rise up, bitch. Shit. Hey, I got pizza. Yeah, the whole thing. It's got to be hard as rock. Ron, I got pizza. Open the door. Pizza. It's 2 slices, dude. Oh, can you open the door, please? No, you're not. I'm opening the door. Open the door. Ron, get up, please. You know how many times you woke me up? Middle of the night? Middle of the morning? Listen. I'm coming in through the ceiling. I have an opening. I'll come in through the fucking attic. I need it. Give me. How can I get under the door? Ron. You are awake. I know you're in bed, but I need 2 things. 1, I need to give you this pizza. And 2, I can't tell you until you open the door. I'm going to bum rush you. I'm going to strap you down to the bed. Come on, dude. Real quick. Just real quick, bro. It's going to take 1 second. I got weed, too. Do you have weed? Look. Wait, how long did that take when you said... Here, this is... You don't care about weed? Well, hold on. Put this in there real quick. Okay, here, listen. I need 2 things. 1 is a canister. The other one is also a canister. I need both of your meds. I need your medication. Yes, I'm here to confiscate your medication. I am. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give me half of it. I don't want to take it. He thinks I'm going to take it. I want your medication. I'm getting your medication. Look at this. What? I know. I know you're tired, baby. I know. I am going to have your medication, whether you like it or not. I'm going to break into your house. You ever? How can I break in? When are you gone next? Are you leaving tomorrow?
No.
What time would you be leaving soon?
I don't know. Why don't you give it up? Can't have my medication.
I only want half.
No.
Half. You can have that now, I guess. Or no, look at me. Look at this. Look at this.
I need it.
Oh, no, I know you need it.
Yeah.
No shit.
I need it on a steady schedule, don't you?
You know, don't give it up. Don't give it up. Yes, well, nobody wants. I'm going to have your medication. Oh, don't step on your goddamn shit, dude. I have to have your medication. I am.
You're recording, right?
No, we're live. Well, I know that you don't want me to have it. Do you own the medication?
Yeah.
Oh, you do, huh? He does own the medication. I guess he owns the medication. That's one thing. Now, what we can do is when he runs out of the medication, we could pinch it off like a loaf. We could use the bungee cord and stop the flow of medication.
That's what you should do. Okay, do that.
But I have been. Yeah, you better hurry up. I know you want it. I am now.
I thought they ran out. Was it the last two pieces?
No, I have one myself. I am now.
No, you can't have the medication.
Listen to me. I am now. Oh, sorry. I am now officially in charge of your medication.
No.
I am the dispensary. Like everybody has done it to you. You know, it's old news.
What?
Yeah, I am. But I'm going to develop a different way. How many people have given you? Have you ever had anybody make sure you take your medication? How many people have made sure you take your medication? Sorry. How many people have done that to you? Okay, open your mouth, lift open your tongue.
Yeah, I take it. I take medication.
No. How many people have done it to you? Neil was the last one, right?
To do what?
To watch you take your medication.
No.
Who was the last person to watch you take your medication?
No one. I just take it.
Lie.
I do.
Neil did it for a little while. No?
No.
Oh, I thought he did. Well,
He used to go with me to see the doctor. I mean, or the psychiatrist.
right.
I met with him.
I ain't gonna do that.
So he used to do that. But he didn't have anything to do with the medication.
Oh, okay. I thought he had something to do with you. I thought he watched you take the medication. Everybody wants you to take everybody wants you to take your medication, right? They want to watch you take your medication, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like a famous medication taker. Everybody's like looking for you to take your medication. It's a bomb. When he takes the medication, it's a bomb.
Yeah.
Well,
Awesome.
well, right. Maybe we should just talk like this. That way we can have one mic. See?
No.
That's okay. So I don't like this. I have to do this as an interviewer. This is so lame. I gotta wear the lapel and then go like this the entire time. So we devised a scheme to make you take your medication. Not Thomas and I.
To take my medication? What the fuck? I already take my medication.
Well, okay. There's something about that statement that falls on deaf ears. So I believe you at times. You've lied directly to me, but nonetheless, I believe you at times.
What did I lie about?
Taking your medication.
No.
Okay, that's a lie. But okay, fine. We're gonna trust you always. But
If I can't sleep unless I take it, so I have to take it. What?
you got any more bullshit to tell me?
That's not bullshit. I have to take that stuff, otherwise
Why? What would happen?
don't sleep.
That's the reason you take your meds?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one of the things they help with. You know?
I know. Anyway. Hey, give us some medicine. Give me the medicine.
No.
Why not?
It's my medicine.
I know that. I'm not saying it's not your medicine.
You can't have it.
I can have it.
You can't have it.
I cannot have it. Can I have half? You already agreed to half. You said, okay, that sounds fair.
No, not even half. I want all of it.
Well, what about some of it? You don't really like your medication, so let me have some of it.
No, I mean...
Why not? You always gave it to me before.
That wasn't medication. That was just some leftover shit I had from
I know. He gave me anti-anxiety bullshit. I took a couple, but damn.
a year ago.
He gave me some palatable. Yeah, please, babe. Well, I'm supposed to deliver your medication to your mouth every night. What do you say to that? What, my arm hurts. What do you say to that, Ronald? What a dick. So, what do you say to that, Ron? Oh, by the way, I was applauding you. I was so happy because I said, we're going to go up there and we're going to give Ron his medication every night at 6 o'clock like a baby, but then I get to ask him if he wants to direct. And it was so cool because I was so happy that I was talking to you at 6 to have you to do that, but yet at the same time it would be cool for us to be down there hanging out and doing the show. So it had a what do they call that? Silver lining. But obviously it's not going to work. So it's okay. We'll talk to you later.
Okay. I mean, you can't have any of my medication.
I know that. I see that already. Okay. All right. All right. Later. I love you. Film him. He still wants to be seen. He's a camera whore. There he is right there. Does it matter, mate? Hey, when are you going to move into the room? Yeah, we'll toss it. Hey. I'm coming back. Huh? Yeah. No, I know. Well, there's something that I respect about Ron that would never let me bum rush his house and take his meds, and I like that about our friendship. But I forgot about that. Ron, here's your rent check. All right, well, that's what that does for us is that allows us to understand where Ron's at regarding the meds, and it gives us the understanding of how to come at him next. So, on that note, we're going to be signing off for now. So, you have a good night, everybody. And this is what Thomas does when he signs out. You can see my finger. You can't see my finger. You have to get closer. He does like this. When we go off air, this is what Thomas does. This is what he does. Watch, see that?